Hi, I'm Wayne Cassio. Today, healthy companies need healthy societies. Education, healthcare, and equal employment opportunities are critical ingredients of a productive workforce. Likewise, the efficient use of land, water, energy, and natural resources makes businesses more productive. At the same time, healthy societies need healthy companies to create the jobs, wealth, and innovation that improve standards of living and social conditions. This year, the Sherm Foundation traveled to Mumbai, India, to learn how a global conglomerate with a storied history of doing well by doing good translates global sustainability into concrete actions. The company is the Aditya Birla Group. Here is a brief snapshot of the Aditya Birla Group. It is a $35 billion corporation that counts more than 131,000 employees belonging to 42 different nationalities. The Aditya Birla Group is ranked among the top 6 great places for leaders in the Asia-Pacific region, and more than 60% of its revenues flow from its overseas operations. Here are the countries that the Aditya Birla Group operates in. Globally, the Aditya Birla Group is a metals powerhouse, among the world's most cost-efficient aluminum and copper producers. Hindalco Novelis is the largest aluminum rolling company. It is one of the 3 biggest producers of primary aluminum in Asia, with the largest single-location copper smelter. The group is also number 1 in viscose staple fiber, the world's number 1 producer of carbon black, the 8th largest cement producer, and among the world's most energy-efficient fertilizer plants. In India, the group is a top fashion, branded apparel, and lifestyle player, one of the top 3 mobile telephony companies, a leading player in life insurance and asset management, one of the top 3 supermarket chains, and one of the top 10 business process outsourcing companies. Beyond business, the Aditya Birla Center for Community Initiatives and Rural Development works in 3,000 villages, reaches 7 million people annually through its initiatives in healthcare, education, sustainable livelihood, infrastructure, and espousing social reform. It operates 42 schools that provide quality education to 45,000 children. Of these, more than 18,000 children receive free education, and its 18 hospitals provide medical care to more than 1 million villagers.
I think it started from Gandhiji, and then my grandfather-in-law, Mr. G.D. Birla, he carried it forward, and then my husband also did a lot on that concept, and now my son, he's also following the same. In fact, he's really made it the DNA of our company.
We feel we're very blessed because we've been born into good families, we've had good education, we've had good values. But at the end of the day, as Mrs. Birla and I always discuss, we say that birth is so much a matter of accident. Any one of us could have been born anywhere else and your whole life trajectory would have changed. So we feel that we have to give back, we have to show our thanksgiving by giving back to communities and by lifting them up.
Well, I think global sustainability to me basically means responsible behavior. You need to make sure that you putting back into the system, whatever be the system, is it earth or whatever, more than that you consume. How do you conserve resources? How do you learn to efficiently use it so that you do not use more than that is necessary?
Number 1 is business exists because of the society. We serve the society. If society is not there, industry doesn't exist at all.
We look at business as a more of a compassionate capitalism, where you need to be, understanding the local communities, local environmental concerns, ensure that they are taken care of before you just put only capital as a only concern, as making money is the only one. It's a very, very important, very critical part of doing any business. You got to understand the local, regional, and the national and the international atmosphere in terms of working with the society, and you got to be part of that. You just can't ignore just only focus only on your business. You got to also understand the social fabric also. In order to do that, you got to be in the field. Then you understand why you require to do some of these work.
No business can solve all of society's problems, nor can it bear the cost of doing that. Instead, each company must select issues that touch its particular business.
Our center works in 3,500 villages, and our focus areas are education, healthcare, sustainable livelihood, and social causes and infrastructure development.
We are working to improve the education level of the people, to improve the health level of the people, and historically in this particular place, because the water management was very poor, they were doing only monocrop. Now we are teaching them how to do multi-cropping, and also we are helping them in capacity building and sustainable livelihoods. Wherever we are doing a work, see, Government of India is there to give 85% of the money.
And that vision is both India specific as well as global. So we said that we want to make a qualitative difference to the lives of the underserved. It's true that business alone can't face up to all the challenges that these kind of problems confront us with. But what we are doing is we're working very closely with the government, we're working very closely with the NGOs, and we're working very closely with the communities. So insofar as our group is concerned, it's a very fine example of public-private partnership in action.
Sustainable organizations are effective stewards of the environment and of the communities in which they operate.
Somehow try and connecting it to the strategic aspects of your business strategy and organization is very important, because then you are not creating a twin track approach that sustainability is one and business is another, and you can create a connect and a bridge between the two. Then it comes in the natural course of people's thinking and working, and you don't create an artificial contradiction between the two. Find those subtle linkages that can be there in your business plan and strategy with issues of sustainability.
Global sustainability refers to a company's role in addressing issues that have a dramatic impact on the future of the planet. Issues like climate change, water shortages, infectious diseases, access to food and education, the reduction of extreme poverty, and disaster response and relief. Each of these problems is global in scope, even if solutions are implemented at the local level.
For the last couple of years, we've been trying to reduce the chemical usage as a pesticide and go for more of an organic, which is a naturally based pesticide. There is a plant called neem, and we get the neem oil from those seeds, and we typically coat that neem oil on top of this urea, which is a fertilizer, which acts as a double a benefit for the farmers. It releases slowly the fertilizer to the plant, but more importantly, it acts as a pesticide for the plants. So it helps both ways, slow release so that the urea is more available to the plant for a longer period of time, and eliminate the chemical usage of the pesticide with the natural usage of neem oil.
So sustainability is definitely a long-term issue for all the industries, whether it is cement or any other industry. And if they don't conserve, what will happen is the raw material prices will go up, industry will have to die.
So we have to learn 5 R's. R stands first reduce, then reuse, recycle, repair, renew. If we can focus on these 5 R's and try to improve our efficiencies, and we will have to see that we maintain the ecological balance.
Well, we don't look at only from a cost perspective. I look at from a long-term sustainability. It's always anytime we run any of the initiatives, they're not flavor of the month. It's a long-term. We continue to track it.
It's in the best interests of business and society for banks to finance companies that meet or exceed environmental and social guidelines. Doing so minimizes the risk to the reputations of those banks.
The business of profit seeking or profit making is nowhere getting diluted if we are working on social concerns and also working on global sustainability.
I think it's a very, very narrow view to believe that everything that you spend necessarily needs to generate a monetary return. I think there is, there is a social return, there is an emotional return. I think the world is not made up of money alone. People who perhaps have remained isolated in their lives from society don't seem to appreciate this phenomenon that there is return beyond monetary return. If your initiatives are linked to your strategy, I think there's an important part of your return calculation. That return comes in ways that makes your monetary return more sustainable. That's a linkage that we need to see.
The mutual dependence of businesses and societies implies that business decisions and social policies must benefit both sides.
They really like the work which we do for the underserved, because they often ask us what do we do, and they also volunteer. And this is how we attract talent and we keep them with us. In all our annual reports, we send a detailed description of what we are doing, and they always have something nice to say about it. And in our annual general meetings, they are very excited about it.
People do look at the organization as a whole. And we know that Aditya Birla Group has always been committed to social issues. And we are also transparent and committed to our own set of actions on reduction in environmental footprint. This definitely is an issue where the new employees look at for joining the organization.
We find increasing number of youngsters. They want to join our group because they say this is a group that cares for people. This is a group that is not materialistic. It has spiritual values, and it's a giving group. So we are able to attract quite a lot of good talent.
It definitely pays. And one example, if you see, last year, the entire India was in the grip of dengue fever, but we didn't have a single case of dengue. And our medical profession, our team members, saw to it that we will end, and there was no sick leaves, no absenteeism. We are having very good track record on safeties. So all these are base benefits. If you read our advertisement in TVs, you will say taking India to the world. This kind of image of social responsibility is something like a brand, a very valuable brand image, which gives us an edge in recruitment, which will give us an edge in acquisitions, which will give us an edge in many, many things.
Even customers feel that this is a company we can trust, and they care for the community, so they definitely care about us.
So I tend to give about 60% of my time to the business role as CEO and about 40% to human resources. I suddenly also discover that a lot of what in human resources we preach, how hard it is to practice actually for a CEO in a dynamic business, in an ever-changing business world where there are so many pressures and pulls that even if you have an intent to practice a lot of things, it's not all that easy to do that. I think HR leaders could first at one level encourage hiring of people who bring in that mindset into the organization. If you get like-minded people who are conscious about it, you develop a culture over a period of time where these things come naturally and you don't have to create artificial programs around it, So that's the first step. The second is employee awareness and communication. Trying to heighten their awareness about all of these issues from time to time. And the last piece is creating systems, practices, forums, initiatives where people can actually practice some of it. For example, we have created sabbaticals in the Aditya Birla Group where after every 7 years you worked, you can get 3 months time off to go and work on any project of your choice, more so if it is a project that is connected with sustainability in one manner or the other. So I think you can create programs, you can create education, you can create awareness, you can create the kind of leaders that you promote, elevate within the organization. That sends signal that you're promoting the right kind of people.
What I would really like to stress is that all this happens only if the top management is absolutely committed. Like in our group, we spend over 50 million US on our CSR projects. But it can only happen if Mr. Kumar Mangalam Birla says, fine, I grant you the budget and you can spend the money. So top management commitment is a must. And we are very privileged that we have, again, the family. Mrs. Birla is from the family. So when she is leading, everyone gets a very powerful signal. So my message would be that in all companies, top management must take the lead, even in CSR and environmental issues.
There's an increasing awareness amongst people in all parts of the world that we need to conserve, we need to preserve, we need to make our lifestyle sustainable. Now, the way we approach it in India may not necessarily always work in other parts of the world, but the very fact that it is in our DNA and that for decades together we have lived with that philosophy, I think that creates a quick connect for us in any part of the world. And that is how we would find that in our experience of globalizing over the last 30 years, we have been able to succeed in many diverse environments, perhaps because that's part of our philosophy that people find very appealing. But the primary thing they need to do is, it must start out with a deep-seated conviction that it is necessary, it is important, it is critical, that it forms a part of their strategy. It cannot be a cosmetic exercise to earn brownie points in stock markets or to impress investors or to make snazzy presentations in recruiters conferences. It must start with the leadership deeply feeling about it, bringing a consciousness about it in the strategy formulation, encouraging people to find innovative solutions. So I really honestly don't care where they start, but the root has to be in their feeling within their hearts and minds that this is something we want to do and this is really truly important.
The next leaders are going to see a totally different world, absolutely different. You'll have green technologies. What is there available today is no longer going to be available in the future, maybe 10, 20 years down the line. And that is where they need to commit themselves and see that they can make those technologies as an alternative to the current ones, and the whole world will get back what they have consumed.
I think if all these leaders whom the business schools are incubating, if they understand the importance of sustainability, the importance of using natural resources in the most effective manner and giving back as much as possible and caring for the community, then we might have a whole new world order, where there would not be environmental exploitation. At least there'd be a more equitable society than what we see today.
Here are 5 lessons in global sustainability identified in recent studies and that every company can learn from the Aditya Birla Group. 1. Recognize the link between sustainability and competitive advantage. Focus on initiatives that create a meaningful benefit for society and that are also valuable to your business. The tighter that linkage, the greater the opportunity to leverage the firm's resources. 2. Leadership matters. Corporate leaders with vision are recognizing that by advancing global solutions, they can create valuable, renewable resources to their advantage, establish new markets for their companies, and unleash tremendous opportunities. Number 3, consumers care. In developed countries, study after study shows that a majority of consumers believe that they can help companies create products and services that are a win-win for consumers, business, and society. Yet many fewer feel that companies encourage them to speak up on corporate social and environmental practices and products. Seize the opportunity to get consumers involved. 4. Measurement matters. Measuring and documenting a company's true impact with respect to sustainability is critical. Greenwashing, or otherwise faking it, will ultimately be exposed to the detriment of a company's image and reputation. Beyond that, measurement matters to corporate boards and shareholders who want to understand the value of sustainability initiatives in advancing the interests of their companies. 5. Accountability and integrity matter. A key reason for embracing sustainability is to build trust with consumers, employees, and potential job applicants. Communications that are less than honest and candid are an invitation to unwanted publicity and negative media attention. Tell the truth and tell it first. At firms like Aditya Birla Group, doing well by doing good is a focused, integrated way of doing business and a source of true competitive advantage. The key is to find opportunities where preserving the environment or enhancing the welfare of local communities intersect with the strategic priorities of your business. Then specify clear, measurable goals and track results over time. Global sustainability need not be a cost, a constraint, or a simple exercise in corporate philanthropy. Rather, it can be a source of opportunity, innovation, and competitive advantage. Mahatma Gandhi, the father of the Indian independence movement, was fond of saying, "Be the change you want to see in the world." Indeed, the most important thing a company can do for society and for the local communities in which it operates is to contribute to a prosperous economy. A clear focus on global sustainability ensures that both companies and communities will flourish. The opportunities are there, and the time to seize them is now.